Hello students, welcome to IFAS. So just give me a minute. I am just fixing the technical glitch that I am facing right now. Just give me a minute and I will be starting with the session for today, okay? Hello students, very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you all are doing well and you have studied whatever we discussed in the last or the previous week, okay? So as of now, we have seen all the British ages, all the British, everything related to British literature. Then we also look for the questions based on the British literature. Then we also saw some of the questions related to all the other genres. Plus, we studied for the famous works of William Shakespeare, because lots and lots of questions have been asked on the important topics of William or the famous works of William Shakespeare. So everything, all the important works of William Shakespeare we have seen as of now, and now the time comes to look at the questions on the MH set English, okay? So if you have a look at the questions, you will understand the level, okay? So MH set is quite easy, okay, or comparatively easy than the UGC NET. So you get a very good chance, or you get a very good scope in scoring and being assistant professor if you give the exam of MH set. So for the students who belong to Maharashtra or outside, also outside of Maharashtra, if they are willing to work in Maharashtra, they are they can appear in Maharashtra set MH, that is said to be as MH set, and they can give their exams here, and if they are qualified, they have to work in the universities or in the colleges of Maharashtra itself, okay? So, but the questions, if you have a look at the questions, you will be very happy to see the questions, because they were not very difficult and not even quite easy, but the moderate questions were asked. So we will just have a look at all the questions. We will try to solve each and every question, and we will see how or from where the questions were asked and which type of questions were asked, okay? So yes, let's begin and start the session. I hope my voice is clear to you. Is there any issue with my voice? Just give me a second. Okay, now check, is my voice properly, am I properly audible to each and every one? Okay, I guess I'm properly audible now. So let's continue and look at the first question. The first question is based on the passage. So here is a passage in front of us. The passage is of two paragraphs. The passage was quite lengthy if you have a look at it. But the questions that those were asked from the passage were very easy. So let's see what were the questions. As I always tell my students that do not read the passage first. Okay, always remember that whenever you are solving the questions related to reading comprehension, that don't waste your time in reading the passage, because the passage read first is never remembered. Okay, that is only the waste of time that you will suffer. So that is why never read the passage first, always go for the question. So here is the question in front of us. With the help of the question we will be able to focus on the passage then. Okay, so yes, here you can see the first question, that is Radha Krishnan dash Hinduism in the West. And the options we have are propounded, studied, popularized, or researched. Okay, so this is the question here, and now we will pay attention to the passage. Now we have to find the answers only from the passage. So let's pay attention. So throughout his life, an extensive writing career, Radhakrishnan tried to define, defend and promulgate his religion of Hinduism, Vedanta and the spirit. He sort of demonstrate that his Hinduism was both philosophical, philosophical, coherent and ethically viable. So Radhakrishnan's concern for experience and his extensive knowledge of the Western philosophical and literary traditions has earned him the reputation of being a bridge builder between India and the West. He often appears to feel at home in the Indian as well as the Western philosophical context, and draws from both Western and Indian sources throughout his writings. So if you will see, as of now we have not came across the word West here. Okay, so because he did something about Hinduism in the West, right? But as of now, the passage that we have read till now, we haven't been through this. So we have to read the further passage as well. Owing to this scholarly stand, Radhakrishnan has been held up in academic circles as a representative of Hinduism to the West. Look at here. So his publication has been influential in shaping the understanding of Hinduism, India and the East by the West. Okay, so now here we have to, means see, he was the representative of Hinduism, means what he wanted to make Hinduism popular amongst everyone in the West. Okay, means he wanted to talk about Hinduism. He wanted to encourage people about Hinduism. So Radhakrishnan, what he did, propounded, no, he studied Hinduism definitely, but not in the West. So he popularized. Got the answer? So what was his motive? To popularize Hinduism in the West. So he wanted everyone from the West to know about Hinduism. Okay, that was the basic aim. Now let's pay attention to the question number 2. Radhakrishnan was an dash. What was he? Propagator of Hinduism, researcher of Western philosophy, philosopher of traditional Hinduism, or ambassador of Indian philosophy and culture. I know the answer, but I want you all to get it from the passage itself. Okay, so I will just read the second para here. So let's pay attention to this. So Radhakrishnan inherited from his upbringing a tactic acceptance of sanskara, Advaita, Vedanta, and an awareness in the centrality of devotional practices associated with the smarter tradition. Okay, Advaita Vedanta is widely considered to be the most influential and most dominant sub-school of the Vedanta school of Hindu philosophy and religious practice. Its teachings have influenced various sects of Hinduism and acquired a broad acceptance in the Indian culture and beyond. So, the key source text for all schools of Vedanta are the Prasthanatrayi, the canonical text consisting of the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Sutra, of which they give a philosophical interpretation and elucidation. Okay, so this is the whole paragraph. Now here, if you will pay attention, you will understand that Radhakrishnan tried to define, defend and propagate his religion of Hinduism. Yes, and he was, what was he? He was both philosophical coherent and ethical viable. Means, here if you will see the options, you will understand the answer now, that he was the ambassador of Indian philosophy as well as the culture of India. Yes. Good afternoon Rohan, good afternoon Pratiksha. I hope you are able to understand the questions that we are discussing right now. If you come across with any of the problem, any query, any doubt, do let me know. I am ready to solve them. Okay. So let's look at the question number 3, that Radhakrishnan dash sanskaras advaitam. This we have read just now. Okay. So Radhakrishnan basically doubted? No, not at all. He accepted. Yes. And he accepted the sanskaras advaitam. So that is C. Here you can see the answer. C. Acceptance. He accepted. Acceptance of sanskara advaita vedanta. Yes. Let's look at the next question. The word canonical means. Just now we came, when we read the passage, we came across with the word canonical. Yes, what is the meaning of the word canonical? It is basically which is well established, which is well worked on. Okay, so which is well established is the correct answer for this question. Got it? Now let's pay attention to the next question. Now the questions related to the reading comprehension are over. Now whatever questions we are going to discuss are based on the literature. So Henry James, an American British novelist, is regarded as a key figure between. Okay, so he was the key figure between what? Henry James. So for that you should know the background of Henry James. So he was the literary realism and literary modernism. Okay, so his novels were based on literary realism and literary modernism. So this is the correct answer for this particular question. Let's look at the next question now. So in the rim of the ancient mariner, Coleridge writes, water, water everywhere, and the boards did shrink, water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. Okay, which figure of speech does he employ? So this is the sentence lines, this is the poem lines. Water, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink, water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. Okay, this is hyperbole, irony, oxymoron, or extended metaphor. So if you will see, there is no hyperbole here. What's the meaning of hyperbole? Where you are exaggerating all the things there, okay, or words, or you are showing extra something in this. But no, here we are not showing anything extra. It is just the normal sentence. Irony, what's the meaning of irony? Irony means where there is a secondary meaning hidden in the same sentence. Okay, so for example, when there are two meanings given in the same sentence. So for example, let's see, here it is written water, water everywhere. Now what the writer is saying, what the poet is saying, that water is everywhere. But if you will see this part of the poem, nor any drop to drink. Agar pani subject, if the water is everywhere, how can there be no drop of water to drink? Yes. So this is the irony, that if the water is everywhere, now the poet is contradicting the statement with himself, right? That he, in the first part he is saying that water is everywhere, and in the second part he is saying that there is not a single drop of the water to drink. This is called as the irony. Got it? Where despite being this situation, this is happening, kind of a thing. Okay, got it? So now let's look at the next question. For the first time in the history of Booker Prize for fiction, a graphic novel was nominated even though it failed to win the prestigious prize. The name of the graphic novel which figured in the long list of Booker Prize nominees in 2018. 2018 means this is very recent. You should know about it. Okay. Sabrina, The Mars Room, The Water Cure, or The Long Take. What will be the answer? Try. It's okay even if your answer goes wrong. Here they are talking about the Booker Prize for fiction. So as you all know that this is a fiction. So there is a movie based on this work or this novel. This is a graphic novel. Okay, is the name of the graphic novel. There is also a movie which is horror as well as thriller movie based on it. It is the Sabrina. Okay, remember this name. So when the next time the questions will be asked on this, you will be able to give the answer. Now, what kind of sound is m? Okay, this is m, right? For example, mother, m, right? Means the sound is coming from, so for example, if you have studied this, you will study this in phonetics. So in phonetics, you will study that all the letters, from where these letters are being pronounced. So for example, m, n, okay. So these letters are pronounced from the nasal, okay, because if you will see, the stress is coming on the nose. You are saying m, when you are saying m, this is also stressed, right? You will feel this. That is why this kind of sound is, what kind of sound is m? It is the nasal sound. Got it? Next is, to which country Hamlet is being sent by Claudius in Shakespeare's play Hamlet? So this we have already read, we have already studied about it in our previous session. So what will be the answer? It is the England. So Claudius sent Hamlet to England. Now let's look at the next question. In which play does Vittoria Corombona become the mistress of the Duke of Bracciano, who for her sake murders both her husband and his own duchess? In the which play this whole scene is there? In The White Devil. In the play The White Devil, okay, so in the play White Devil, you will see that there is a person named as Vittoria Corombona becomes the mistress of the Duke of Bracciano. Okay, so in the Duke of Bracciano, so for her sake murders her husband and his own duchess. Okay, which is this play's name? The White Devil. Got it? And who is the writer of the White Devil? Who can tell me? John Webster. John Webster is the writer of this play named as the White Devil. Okay, so whenever you are studying the White Devil, remember this. Now let's pay attention to the next question. In which of the following poems do the given lines occur? Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. No hungry generations tread thee down. So this is a very famous writing in the Ode to a Nightingale. So, who is the author of the Ode to Nightingale? Who can tell me? Who can tell me? Ode to Nightingale. I will tell you. John Keats. John Keats is the writer of this poem, or the poet of this poem, Ode to Nightingale, in which he says, "Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. No hungry generations tread thee down." So this is the he is talking about the bird, and the nightingale is the name of the bird. Okay, so Ode to Nightingale. Ode means it is dedicated song to the nightingale bird. Okay. Then in Divine Comedy, Virgil proceed to guide Dante through the dash concentric circles of hell. How many concentric circles? 9 concentric circles of hell. Okay. So in Divine Comedy, Virgil, remember this. So Virgil proceed to guide Dante through the 9 concentric circles of hell. Let's look at the next question. So miracle plays are based on the lives of knights, crusaders, pilgrims, or saints. So we have already studied. So when we were studying for the British literature, that time I already told you. So there were the kind of plays that were called as miracle plays. So they were focused on the lives of the saints. Okay, so miracle plays are based on the lives of saints. Let's pay attention to the next question. Nature that framed us of 4 elements, warning with our breasts of regiment, doth teach us all to have aspiring minds. Above lines are taken from what? Who can tell me? Above lines. These are from the Turbulane the Great. So it is a play, and Turbulane the Great is the play written by Christopher Marlowe. Okay, so Christopher Marlowe, it was written in 1587. So also remember this. So they might ask you in some other time in your exam that so which play was written by Christopher Marlowe? So it was the Turbulane the Great. Or they might also ask you who is the author of the Turbulane the Great. It is a play. Okay, so it was also written in 1587. This is the extra information that you can remember. Let's pay attention to the next question. Which book of Nelson Mandela was published posthumously? Which is the book by Nelson Mandela? Dare Not Linger. So Dare Not Linger is the book by Nelson Mandela which was published posthumously. What is the meaning of posthumously? After the death. After the death of author. Posthumously means when the author is dead and after his death his book was published. Okay, that is posthumously. And which was the book of Nelson Mandela which was published posthumously? It was Dare Not Linger. Okay, so it is a very good book. You can definitely whenever you get time you can read about it. Okay, now let's pay attention to the next question. Who is the speaker of the lines? Then my glasses cut in more subtle angles to disperse and multiply the figures as I talk or naked between my succumb. So, who is the speaker of these lines? It is the Sir Epicure Mammon. Sir Epicure Mammon. Okay, so Mammon represents gullibility in the Johnson's play. So these are the plays of Johnson's as he easily falls for subtle and faces a con, but he also represents greed and vice. Okay, so these are the important things you should know whenever you are studying. So it is the Sir Epicure Mammon who says, then my glasses cut is in more subtle angles to disperse and multiply the figures as I walk or naked between my succumb. Okay. Then the next question says the classification very Indian poems in Indian English was made by. This classification of very Indian poems in Indian English. So this obviously the writer of this saying is English, Indian. Okay, and who is he? He is the Nizam Ezekiel. Nizam Ezekiel says the very Indian poems in Indian English. Let's look at the next question now. Who is the heroine of Girish Karnad's play Hayavadana? So Hayavadana is a very famous play by Girish Karnad. So who is the heroine of this poem? Of this play is the Padmini. Padmini is the main character or the heroine, or she can also be called as the protagonist of the play Hayavadana. Okay. So the next question is, in an eclectic approach to language teaching, the teacher chooses to devise her own personal approach, different techniques from different language theories, to strictly follow only one approach, or to alternate two approaches. So in an eclectic approach, different techniques from different language theories are used, okay, for a better understanding. So you will understand this, or you will study this in linguistics. So when you are studying about linguistics or language pedagogy, that time you will understand this. Okay. Hold on for a second, students. Hello students, I hope now my voice is properly audible to you and it is clear as well. Okay, so let's discuss the questions. So the answer for this is, so in the linguistics you will understand or you will study this eclectic approach, okay, so which tells you about the different techniques from different language theories. And now the last question, match the critiques with the mode of literary representation. So the first list we have of the critiques and the second list we have of their literary representations. The first critique we have Helen Sixus. So if we talk about Helen Sixus, can be related to the literary representation called as feminine, okay. Then Henry Louis Gate figure. If we talk about Henry Louis Gate figure talks about the signifying. Then Lee Edelman talks about the homographic. And then Gerard Vizenor writing focuses on the trickster, okay. So this is the sequence. So 1:D. So 1:T gives us the option number A. So even if you don't know anything else, you can use the cut or eliminate method, in which you only have to put one, you have to see for the one blank and you can identify the whole answer, okay. So this is what you can use. So you can save a lot of your time if you use such kind of technique. Got it? So this is it for today's session. I hope you have understood the questions. So if you will see, the level or the type of questions that were asked in MHSET were quite different from the ones which we discussed of the UGC NET, okay. So pay attention to this difference, understand this difference, so that it will be easier for you to study for SET as well as for the UGC NET, okay. So if you are preparing for UGC NET, obviously you are eventually preparing for MHSET as well, okay, or any SET exam for that matter. So remember this when you are studying. So always study for both of them, for UGC NET as well as SET, because that is going to be beneficial for both the exams. The syllabus is same, the everything, the paper or exam pattern is also same. The marking scheme is also same, just the level of the type of questions that were asked is different, okay. That is the only difference, and paper 1 questions might differ. That's the only difference you have to pay attention to. And I guess we should end the session for today, and let's meet on the same time on the same channel tomorrow. So till the time we meet next, happy learning and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.